Hello, hello, good evening, and welcome. Welcome to another live with the School of Conscious Evolution. My name is Daniela Florio. I am a psychic medium, evidential medium. I'm a healer. I'm a teacher, spiritual teacher, but above all, I feel that part of my mission is the one to bring spiritual awareness to everyone that are asking themselves questions, and the one of trying and bring to as far and wide as possible all the infinite possibilities that we have for healing, personal growth, soul growth, if we can say that, spiritual growth, and connection. And tonight, I have the pleasure and the honor to have Rebecca White. Good evening, Rebecca.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. It's so exciting to have you here tonight.
Yeah.
It's like the people are joining us now, so I don't want to say too much too quickly. What I normally do, I'm going to monitor Facebook as well on my Facebook page, because sometimes there may be some technical issues and we don't see the messages that people write to us from Facebook. So just in case, there you go, that's there. Just in case, I just prepare that on the side. So good evening, Patrick. Good evening, Lisa. I know that there are other people joining us at the moment. So I just wanted to say the little story of how we met. So normally I do fairs roughly twice a month. And it's a fantastic way to meet new people, to meet new modalities for healing. It's lovely to chat. And when I saw you, it's just like spirits went like, nah, 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 stop there. It's interesting. And so I came to you and you were looking at me like, where is she coming from? I don't know. So that's
This
why I
was
don't
at Hatwick, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was lovely. And it's such a lovely atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. And you were coming from quite far away, weren't you?
Yeah, so I've not returned back there. It was an amazing time for me, but it was a good 2.5 hours
Yeah.
drive for me. So
Yeah,
I've not
right.
been back.
I do remember that. I do remember that because that was the fair with Awakening the Moon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes, at the Crown Hotel
yeah.
in East Grinstead. Are you planning to coming back there?
Maybe I might do. Probably maybe in the new year.
In the new year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
around like March time, I find that that's a really good time for.
Okay.
Um,
And I have been following you on the social media, and I love your videos where you show your rituals, you run different workshops, and you know, and when people are really interested in something, they are open to traveling, right?
hmm.
So, tell us where you're based, by the way. Where are you based?
So I'm in Bedfordshire, and I do the most of my ceremonies out of the Clophill Centre, which is an amazing piece of land that's been
Wow.
dedicated to healing workshops, ceremonies.
Wow, wow. So you see, there are more people coming in now. So good evening, Melinda from the US, California. Good evening, Melinda.
Oh,
Melinda
yes.
is she's been a guest of mine a few times, and she's a lovely, lovely healer and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and end of life doula and so on and so
Oh,
forth.
wow. That is
Yeah,
super cool.
cool. Yeah, like the power to help
Mm.
people when they come towards the end of their life. But she's also a beautiful channeler. So we have John Pugsley, who is based in Denmark. So you're going international tonight. Very well.
Wow.
Sisha, again from the US. And I've got 10 people. I've got Nigel Wharton. Good evening, Nigel. Bev, Nadia, Lisa Wynn. So yeah, people keep coming in and we carry on building up. So tell us a bit about your journey, and because there is a mix of things going on there with you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like in the shamanic training that I do, I've kind of had a bit of a mix, let's say, of northern and southern hemispherian shamanism, which is kind of been quite confusing for me to walk through, to say the least, to pull those strings of like truth and what really resonates with me. Has been quite interesting. So I kind of started with South American shamanism. There's a Colombian curandero called Antar Carana, I think that's how you say his name. And he was doing a retreat at the Clop Hill Center. And I think this was back in 2022. A lot happened in 2022. I think I birthed my first drum. I went to my first retreat, and I went to Peru. Did we go to Peru then? Oh, yes, yeah. And I went to Peru. God, yeah. 2022 was like my big year of everything happening.
Was it for the cacao thing?
No, it was for ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. Ooh,
yeah,
we're interested in that. I don't know. I'm always in two minds if I ever would want to put myself with that, to mix, because you always tell us, what was your experience?
Well, so I went to a healing center in San Francisco near Pucallpa. And I went there because I had a friend that I really trusted, and he'd worked a lot with the maestro there. And he'd done most of he'd done a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies, let's just say, but then he found someone and a place that he felt that he could really sort of sit and learn, do a lot of dietas, and now he works there in ceremony. Otherwise, I could have ended up at somewhere like Rhythmia or Solterra, which are these big retreat spaces that have 60 to 100 people per ceremony. They're there for the money. It's a business. We were in the jungle. There was rats in the ceiling. There was like mosquito nets. It was so hot. Like the only thing that keeps mosquitoes away from you is like the black coils, and you'd have to take one with you to the toilet because they would live inside the toilet bowl. So then when you sat down, it was an experience, but that it was the true, real, authentic experience. There was no air conditioning. Like it wasn't jazzed up for foreigners. I mean, like even talking with my friend, like the Tambos and the Moloka, and like I think they've now just made a hammock chill out space. Like that's all for the foreigners, because most locals will just drink ayahuasca in their living room. And it's us that kind of expect a big room and fanciness.
Yes. And also the other thing that I wanted to, because you do come with a mix of experiences, and the thing that I was referring to earlier on, although there are other things I want to talk about what I found out about you, but it's to do with hypnotherapy, Cacao.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is like so interesting. Tell us more about that.
So I decided that I wanted to go back and do the thing that I was going to do when I left university, which was go into counselling. And Chrysalis do a great course where you have 1 year of hypnotherapy, and the next 2 years you do your level 4 and 5 diploma in counselling. You can go on and do higher levels, but I was like, I'll just do this 3-year course. That'll be enough for me to changed my life around. Basically, I was running my own business and I was kind of getting a bit fed up with doing it, to be honest. And I remembered that was something I always wanted to do. So I kind of went back to what 21-year-old me was like, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
And then as I was progressing through my hypnotherapy course, the Cacaoista training with Rebecca Shaman came up. And it was halfway through that course that I was like, hang on a minute. This is exactly the same thing as hypnotherapy. There is one way into the subconscious.
Wow.
We've always been using it. Call it hypnotherapy, call it shamanic journeying. It's the same thing. And it blew my mind. I was like, I am so on the right path here that I'm walking one that gives me like a fancy certificate and a prince's trust, whatever, blah, 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 and like insurance and just sort of makes people that maybe are a little bit about shamanism a little less about it, because I can say, hypnotherapy, well, it's like the same thing, but maybe there's a little bit more of this, and a bit more of this.
Oh yes. Well, and did I read correctly that you made your own cup there? That one.
My new cup. I'm so pleased with them.
You made your own cup. How beautiful.
This has been so long in the making, just to try and get space with my potter, and to get the right shape as well. Very specific.
Is that a one-off, or you make them?
So you can pre-order them with me, and we'll be making as many as we can on the 14th of November, hopefully in time for Christmas. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with some of the Americans, but that doesn't mean that they're only for Christmas. They're for always. But
they always, no, of course, yes. And what a beautiful jug to have to drink your beautiful cacao.
So like I press the cacao beans that I use in ceremony into the cup for handholds, and like the inside is white because when you have a ceremonial dose of cacao, it's quite thick. And one of the most beautiful things in ceremony is to look back in your cup when you've finished. And sometimes you can see the forest where cacao came from. You can see the rivers of the Amazon, or any other.
Is it like a bit like scrying? It's like people do scrying with the bottoms of the coffee, isn't it?
Yeah, like tea and stuff like that. So if you're really good at that, then you can do it really good. But otherwise, most people just see that connection with, like, because it will look like branches or like rivers, and you just suddenly, because you've just drunk this strong dose of cacao, you just feel so connected with nature before we've even really started.
Yes, I get it. And so we've been talking about hypnotherapies, but I think I've read that you have been looking or becoming more knowledgeable about the use of mushrooms as well.
Trying to. I mean, like, I might have a little.
I suppose it's really hands-on shamanism, really, what we are talking about here, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can hold my hands up and say, I'm not ready to do groups.
Sure.
There's so much work I need to do on myself. I need to be completely comfortable with walking myself through the experience, which
don't we all?
It's being so comfortable with, because if you're going to walk with someone, you have to have moved all of your crap out of the way so that you can focus on that other person.
Yeah, that's true.
And that was one of the reasons why I went to the Cacaoista training. I spent a long time talking with Rebecca, not to be confused with the way. So Rebecca Shaman is spelt with a K-A-H, and she runs Ritual Cacao. She also serves mushrooms and does mushroom ceremonies. Okay. And she said that the Cacaoista training is an amazing foundation because it teaches a plant medicine ceremony that you can take on with any of them. Because essentially, if we're going to boil it down, it's hypnotherapy. You drink something, so you have something physical, so you have that taste in your mouth, and then you lie down, and I will either put you under hypnosis or take you on a shamanic journey, whichever way and whatever words you want to say. You're going to get some kind of messages from the experience.
Yes, absolutely. And so if someone wanted to attend one of your workshops, what do they expect? Because, for instance, I've never taken part to one. I'd love to take part to one, but the one thing that I've done that it was completely different from the usual workshops, like sound baths and things like that, was, for instance, forest bathing. And
Oh.
when I attended, I had no a clue what was the going to be the experience about. And I'll tell you, that was really, really mindful.
Mm.
And although we didn't do the actual meditation, it was always guided and focusing, the nature around us, and stay in the present and connecting to the smells, to the sights, to the sensations, and it was truly beautiful. So, how does it work and why? Main question: why would you want to do a cacao ceremony?
So I do a 4-hour ceremony. And that's kind of my favorite length. I can squeeze it down to 3, and sometimes, if really pushed, I can get it into 2.5 hours.
Right.
But it's not a short sharing circle. It's not like a quick let's drink cacao and sing some songs. It's a full, at least an hour, if not an hour and a half long shamanic journey, which I guide the entire way.
Wow.
And in that, you get to find that deep presence and connection with cacao and yourself. It gives people time to get out of their own way and to get their ego to just move to one side. When I did my training, we had 3 of these ceremonies in a week, and they were at least 2 hours of lying down in the journey. And as they progressed, Rebecca moved further and further out, so that it was all of us that was guiding our own selves. I don't do that. I try and keep you coming, and you come with your own intentions of
Right.
what it is
So
you want.
am I right to think that if you are in a part of your life where things are not quite working out, and you want to figure out more about yourself, what you really want, where you need to, where you're heading towards, would one of these, your ceremony, do the trick, basically, or help you along those lines?
All of them are shamanic journeys that I offer. I've started offering ones without cacao, at a cheaper price, so that people that aren't quite sure about the whole cacao thing, but they're curious, and it's more of an evening ceremony. I wouldn't like to do cacao in the evening, because when you're giving someone a high dose, it can be too stimulating, and then they can't get to sleep afterwards. And I've been there.
Of course.
And then you're just lying in bed, you're like, I don't know why I can't sleep.
Oh no. Oh, yeah.
So cacao can also be used as a sleep aid, but not as a shamanic dose, let's just say. So it's tailoring it to what you need. So everything is a shamanic journey. All of it is connecting to a let's call it higher entity, whether it be your higher self, whether it be cacao, whether it be a spirit guide. You're connecting to something else, which is all part of us.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the spirit of cacao, you could say, is a different personality of us that we create. Because when I lead you to the spirit cacao, she looks exactly as you need her to look, and she will treat you exactly as you need to be treated in that moment. That's your personal connection with cacao. Like all of these, it's you're not necessarily going to have the same experience as everyone else, so you can gain guidance for you that's personal to you, in these ceremonies. So whether you have cacao or not, cacao helps with the relaxation. Cacao helps with making you feel blissed out with the dopamine, the serotonin, the anandamide, which is a bliss molecule, literally Sanskrit word for bliss. So if you really struggle to meditate and you need some help, then that's where a cacao ceremony can be more useful. Also, just experiencing cacao and how it can make you feel, then you have something that you can lean on. You have a plant ally you can lean on, because sometimes we don't always want to have to rely on ourselves. We need help from something external to help come back internal again.
Yes. Now, a question that just came to mind. Obviously, cacao comes from South America, from South Africa, all different countries. And is there a difference in terms of experience according to which type of cacao you use?
I believe so. I've not really taken, so I bring my Ecuadorian ritual Satsuyaku cacao to ceremony. That's the one that I find tastes the best at a high dose. I also have Peruvian and Balinese, and I find them very strong. The Balinese goes almost like Marmite.
Oh,
So either
wow.
I've only had it once at that high strength because I didn't really fancy repeating it again. I was like, if I'm going to have like a high dose of cacao, I'll just have the Ecuadorian. But when you bring it down to a daily dose of about 20 grams, I find they each have their own personality. Like the Peruvian is very invigorating, very much like coffee. It will really help if you're procrastinating from something to sort of light that fire underneath you and just go get it done, because you'll be so uncomfortable until you do it, and then you're like, oh, thank goodness. The Peruvian's quite good. Peruvian, the Satsuyaku is really good for everything, to be honest.
Okay.
You can have it in the morning, in the evening, if you like change the dosages around. The Peruvian, I would say, is your morning cacao. If you had it in the evening, you might be a bit too excited, unless you wanted to stay up, and then it'd be wonderful. So yeah, the Ecuadorian is great for journaling and for doing everything that you want it for. And then the Balinese is very soft and sweet and gentle. I've had a friend who was going through some major grief, and she only had Peruvian cacao with her, but she really wanted that cuddle and that love and that sit down and to stick with cacao. But the Peruvian was so intense for her that she wasn't able to lean on cacao in this time of grief. And then I showed her my Balinese, and she's like, oh, thank goodness, I can sit with this, because it's quiet, it's calming, and it's nurturing, and you can sit on the sofa or in your cozy nest or in bed with it, and then you can go to sleep and you can feel relaxed and calmed by it. So the three cacaos I hold are at each different energy level, so that you can pick and choose which one works for you. And I offer taste all 3 bags that have enough cacao in, so that you can kind of mix and match. Maybe try one for 1 week and one for another week, or maybe you have a Peruvian in the morning and a Balinese to help you sleep at night.
Wow. I just wanted to ask all that are following us at the moment, if any of you have attended a cacao ceremony. I know that someone that was going to join us probably in a few minutes, I would say. I know that she's done that before, and she was telling me about it today in view of us meeting tonight on this live, believe it or not. But I just wanted to say good evening and welcome to Olga and Eri and Stacia. Okay, so we have Stacia from the US again. And how do you obtain the cacao?
So for me, I buy it from importers that are their own brand, and then I repackage and I sell it. I sell it on. So I buy wholesale from someone else, and then I sell retail. And
so I take that when someone is attending your ceremony, you would have that part of the package for people to drink, or can they buy it from you?
You can buy, you can buy.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
they can buy from you, and then it's all And I just wanted to say also, I'm just waving in and out here. Good evening, Moni. Good evening, Mark Hay. Good evening, Lisa. Good evening, Gail. A wonderful medium and trans medium. Marion Frisbee and Jennifer Partridge so far. Now, the other question I wanted to ask you is like, what is your relationship with spirit and the channeling when you go through the cacao ceremony? Do you pick up on people's energy, or is just what you pick up for yourself?
So I'd say I'm quite an undeveloped medium. I wear the copper head crown, one, because it was something that I came across in my previous life, let's just say, not like past life, I mean the before
Right.
cacao life.
Yeah.
And I'd loved the idea of having it, and I had no reason for it until I started this, and I was like, that would actually be a really perfect thing to wear. It's made by an artist called, can't remember his name right now, but it's like an art piece, and he makes copper corsets and carbon fiber corsets, so it's more high fashion than spiritual. And
But actually, it suits you absolutely well. It's really lovely, and I think it's quite ad hoc for you. You know, like for what
helps
you do.
as well, just kind of having that,
Just give you a bit more of that shamanism kind of.
Yeah, it puts me in the zone, and because it's copper, it kind of helps me then
Oh, it's
focus.
copper. Is that right?
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't understand.
it's copper, solid
Yes,
copper.
yes. I did. Yeah. Oh,
And so when I'm like reading the cards to people, because I get them all to pull a card for the journey, I feel like sometimes I'm like threading the needle with trying to pick up what it is that they've said that their intention is, whatever messages that I'm then getting, and then the card that they've pulled, to try and weave it together, and it feels like I'm like trying to thread the needle through, and I wouldn't say I get anything that's like super clear. Like sometimes I'll just start fiddling with my tobacco case, and I'll have to sit there and be like, is this me because I'm bored, because I'm just sitting and I'm holding the space for people that I'm fiddling with this, or is it that tobacco is now needed in ceremony? And to like work on not doubting myself. If my hands have gone for something like my rattle, I've then started rattling it, and then realized that I'm going to be here for another 20 minutes rattling it. Like it's the once you started, because I can feel this like battle in my head of like, I'm bored of rattling this now. This is because this is not an easy rattle to rattle. It's heavy. Yeah, it's awkward. I made this.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so this is from a cacao pod that I had fresh.
Right.
And I ate it, and I put the seeds back in. I dried them out, and I made them into nibs, and I put them back in with some crystals. And
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's heavy though, and it's so interesting when I can see myself going, I'm bored and like I'm in pain from rattling this, but I know I cannot stop yet. So I don't get anything clear, but I've gone over. I can see people's process. I can see if they're purging, if they're crying. And one of my friends that came to ceremony, she said I helped her partake in a shamanic healing that she was receiving within her journey. I then went over with, I don't have it nearby. I've got an oak branch. You know, like the feather, the leaf. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to say scapula. Leafy thing from the Amazon. You shake it, it's like a leaf rattle. I have an oak branch, and I didn't take my rings off, so I got left with lots of blood blisters. That was a hard thing to rattle, and I rattled that over her, and I could really see her just releasing and just like helping her move it away. And like other people, when I've rattled them with my normal rattles, they've said that I've like rattled whatever it was into their bladder, and now they need to pee. So like it's really hard to describe, but you can see it in people's faces when you come over and use tools on them, how they might then just sort of stand up and like run off to the toilet, or just suddenly like calm down, and like you see their face change.
Yeah. So, for the ones that are following us, is there anything that you would like maybe to do or to say, I don't know, in terms of meditation or a little guide? I know that there isn't cacao around at the moment and all of that, but maybe, what do you think?
I can try and walk you down to your sacred circle to meet Cacao. I think that's what we spoke about before, wasn't it?
Yes.
So let me just clear my throat
That's
so I can get the dulcet tones going.
I know, that's we have a little bit of that. You don't, it's just a little demonstration, really,
Yeah,
and to connect to your energy, really, as
yeah.
well, and to enjoy a bit of that, and maybe, together we can. Well, I can give some messages and maybe see whether you can pick up anything yourself. I don't know. I don't want to push you on the spot. This is not what you do, right? But maybe your cacao guides, let's call them like that, they can give you some intuition.
We'll see. We'll see. Also, thank you, Melinda, for your lovely comment of saying that I look like I'm in a cosmic realm.
Yeah, that was Melinda here. From a cosmic that is true, though. It does suit you, and it does give you a bit more of that higher realm, isn't it? So, okay, shall I give you? Do you need a moment or?
No, just when
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you the screen. I'm just behind,
okay,
and then we come back in when you're finished. Okay?
okay, super, fabulous. Okay. Oh, hello, everybody. So, when you're ready and you found a comfortable spot, if you'd like to just close your eyes down, feeling your weight against the sofa, the chair, the bed, wherever you are. Letting your body feel heavier and heavier as you slowly put it down, becoming more and more relaxed. Maybe noticing what texture you can feel under your hands. Can you feel the air on your face against your skin? Is it moving? Is it still? What's the temperature like? And as you come to this place of stillness, this now, this moment, the only moment that exists, giving yourself permission to be here, giving yourself permission to journey, knowing that you are in control at all times. And you can resist if you want to, but that's not why you're here. And if you can, when you're ready, there is a place in nature calling to you. It could be the woods, by the streams, on the beach, in the grasslands, your front garden, or maybe the room that you're sitting in just appears in front of your eyes. Maybe on the tops of the cliffs or deep in a cave. Wherever it is that you find yourself, go there. Land there. What does the ground feel like under your feet? Is it smooth? Is there gravel? Are there rocks? Is there grass? Look around. Notice the things around you. The plant beings, their trees or their flowers. Is there just an ever expanding horizon? And what can you hear? Can you hear water? Can you hear wind? Can you hear birds? Can you hear the stars? What time of day is it there? Is it night? Is it day? Is it raining? What's the temperature like? And as you look around, turning up that beauty, like turning up the volume or turning up the contrast. Turn up the beauty, notice more, notice more. Seeing each individual leaf, each blade of grass, the roundness or cragginess of the rocks, individual pebbles, the colours of them. How maybe the colours of green shift and change. And as you walk around and you explore this place, turning up the beauty more, seeing more, feeling more, hearing more. A path appears at your feet. It could be made of bare earth, of paving slabs, of stepping stones, of gravel, of water. Whatever this path looks like to you, walk down it. See how the scenery changes as you walk. Noticing different plants, different beings, different things. And as you look up ahead and along the path, there's an animal waiting there, your power animal. It could be big, it could be small, it could be in the trees, it could be off the path, it could be on the path, it could be sat there looking straight at you right now. Walk up to it and greet it. Feel how it feels to be near them. They have a message for you. What is that message? And continue walking down the path, walking and talking with your power animal. And as the path opens out into a clearing, and in the center is your sacred circle. This could be made of mown grass, of leaves, of crystals, of rocks, of pillars, of trees, of stones or lines in the sand. Whatever makes up your sacred circle is yours, your special place. This place will protect you. And it's the place that you will meet Cacao. So when you are ready, stepping into the sacred circle and sitting down. And call the spirit of Cacao to you. And though you may not know her, you may not know her taste, she is still there. And she is still there. We've all eaten chocolate before. And though it may be quite long and tenuous, we know her medicine. that soothing, calming, nurturing comfort of cacao. The one who is there when our heart breaks, when we're feeling low, when we're feeling sad. Cacao has always been there for us to bring comfort. So calling the spirit of cacao to you, and she will arrive in whatever form is right for you. Be it as a person, a human, a reflection of yourself, as an animal, as light, as smoke, as a spirit, as a feeling in your body. Let her come to you. And if you have a particular question in mind, or you just want to hear the messages that she has for you, ask her. Ask it of her. And if cacao is not coming straight away, do not worry. She might be shy. She might be hiding, or maybe you're looking just too hard. Is there a sensation of knowing in your body that has a message for you in there? Maybe just a message of everything is going to be okay. And as the last of the messages come through, taking cacao in your arms, or even just yourself, giving them a big hug, and feel her melt back into your body with gratitude and thanks for any messages, any wisdom, any feelings, any knowings, any deep rememberings. And when you are ready, stepping out of your sacred circle and walking back up the path that you came to that place in nature where you started. And as you arrive back to that place, there is a big old tree there. Whether it makes sense or not, there is a big grandmother tree there. Give her a big hug. Feel the roughness of the bark against your hands, the strength of the trunk against your torso, and feel how you expand up into the branches, up, into the canopy, into the leaves. You become one with this tree. You feel the wind rustling through your leaves. And as you look in one direction, you see your past. You see everyone that you were leading up to this moment in time. Every challenge that you thought was too much, yet you still got through. Every time that you thought that this was the end, that you were still here. Gazing out over your past. And as you look in the other direction, you see your future. Be it something easy to look at, something that you know exactly what you're going to be. You can see it clearly. Or whether you just have that feeling of everything is going to be all right and it's going to turn out exactly how you want it. Maybe it feels completely different from how you feel right now, and you're not sure how to feel about that. But from this point, you can see everything that you were and everything that you will be. Maybe as you look forward into the future, you have a sense of what it is that you might need to do to make that your reality now. And when you're ready, slowly, slowly, come back down from the canopy of the tree, moving out of the leaves into the branches, down the trunk, and meeting back with your body, feeling your physical body where it is, blinking your eyes open when you are ready, and welcome home.
Oh,
How is that for everyone?
heaven. I would like to ask those of you that have been doing the meditation, how did they make you feel? Stacia is saying, beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca.
You're welcome. Did
Hearts.
anybody get any messages? Did anybody get their power animal? Anything that anybody wants to share?
So this is the lady I was mentioning about. She's Debbie Romero. She's based in the US as well. And Debbie has taken part previously to Cacao ceremony. And I think she's been even more than once. So Debbie can share if she feels like up to what is her personal experience, perhaps, in terms of, attending these ceremonies. But what I wanted, the viewers that are following us tonight and during the recording, is on the catch up, is like, if what Rebecca does without cacao, can you imagine if you had drunk the cacao as well? Who would want to come back, honestly?
Sometimes I do have to wave my, I've got some lovely koshi chimes. Sometimes I do have to wave them quite furiously.
I've got a coffee chime, a water one.
Yeah.
So I love them, like everything that plays with, our senses while we are away. So Melinda is saying, oh, that's beautiful and amazing. I went walking into the Northern Lights, met by a big buck and with huge horns. Wow.
Beautiful.
That is an experience, isn't it?
I find so many people, when they come around to sharing, because they're not quite sure when they've gone through their own personal journey, they'll share their walking down story, and sometimes like they and that has been like an hour ago. It's been so profound for them to walk down that path to meet a spirit animal. Maybe I've had people meet their ancestors, their old pets
Yes.
have come to them,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
and they bring that into the share because they're just like, it's such a beautiful experience. Or sometimes, so this time I actually got like a vision of on top of the cliffs with the horizon over the sea. I don't normally get that as a vision because I've had it for some people where I've mentioned stepping stones. And they're like, I was walking over stepping stones as you were talking about stepping stones. I was walking along a river. And that's always so amazing when my guidance is linking up with like their experience before they've heard me say or mention or suggest it.
Yes, yes. And you can see again, Lisa is saying she was in a jungle where she met a jaguar, who she knows being her power animal.
My medicine animal, I think it's Mayan narwhal, is the jaguar, which is like the cosmic space holder and like the jungle mother.
Oh, is
Which
that
is
right?
it's such beautiful medicine. When I first heard it, when I was told, because it's linked with your birthday, so it's not. I was like, I don't want to be another one of those crazy white women that's like, my spirit animal is the jaguar.
So how do we find out what our power animal is? You just look it up as according to your birthday?
So with the narwhals, it's
Because I wonder, sometimes I've been given guides, with the name and the image during the meditation. So is it something that you would get
so
like that?
this is the Mayan cosmovision. It's spelled Nahual, and each day has
Yeah.
a different narwhal. Where's the link? Where you at? There you go. Each day has a different narwhal attached to it. So if you want to work with narwhals, you can look up every day which energy is of the day, and you can work with that animal. Like I say,
Mm.
the crocodile is one to look out for because it means don't rise to your triggers, because like the crocodile sits underneath the water, and
Mm.
if provoked enough then it'll be like wah.
Yes.
But it's being noticing of like, well, what's under the surface that could come and um
Yeah.
but it is like saying that I'm also an Aquarian. It's like that. So it's part of your like personality
Yeah.
file, let's just say.
Yes. Yeah. 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 Wow. Anybody else that have had an experience through this meditation? I must say that it was very powerful also because, so Melinda is saying, the buck has always been with me since I started my journey. Well, there is
Mm,
this pattern because a couple of people have already mentioned that they've met the animal that they were aware it was their animal guide, you see. So that
mm.
is very interesting.
They
Very
can
interesting.
change as well, and sometimes they can get upgrades, or sometimes you might think you're gonna, like, I've had people go, oh, I thought I was gonna get, something big, and then it was just like a rabbit or like a stick insect or
But because
something like
they, effectively speaking, they symbolize energy.
Yeah, but
So
that's the
which
best
means,
when people don't know what they're gonna get, like, when they don't have a preconceived idea of what's gonna happen, or they maybe desire something that's more, like,
yeah,
spiritual, sexy, and
yeah,
then they see that it's something else, and they know that that's there, and then they kind of have that, like, "Ah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't think I was gonna get that."
Well, I really hope that everybody that has done a meditation with us tonight, they have got something out of it. Because
Mm,
my intention was the one that us, giving out messages, and actually we're coming towards the end of our life. And I think that meditation that you've just done, it was so beautiful. And people that have taken part to it, they've had their own personal message, I hope,
mm,
and they would have re-encountered their own guide, whichever it is. It could be anything really, isn't it? It doesn't mean there has to be an animal. So, and so I have seen that you have some dates for the next
Ceremonies.
Workshops, ceremonies. Yes. Will you be sending us maybe the dates? I can put them on the
Yes, if you
on the page.
So my
your
website,
contact
Shamanic, my website that's shamaniccacao.co.uk. I've just recently added upcoming ceremonies onto it.
Okay,
So
wonderful.
you book directly through me, because that way I'll send it to you on WhatsApp so that you can ping it through to everyone else.
That's okay. You can send it to me later. But it's very. Oh yes, I can see that.
Yeah, you book direct through me so that I don't pay card fees, because I kind of got a bit miffed off with online payments. So
of course. Now, do you do online ceremonies?
So I haven't as of yet, because most of my my following has been very British and very local as well. I've tried like branching out into different local areas, and actually only really the Clophill Centre has been the one that people want to attend to. So if there is like desire for online, then that's amazing.
I wouldn't exclude that with a couple of events like mine, you would be able to raise a few people wanting to attend. But obviously, I assume that would entail a different type of organization, because people would have to source either from yourself directly, cacao, or go and get it. But I think it would be lovely if they could have.
I can always do my just shamanic journeys. So people can either drink like a mugwort tea or some kind of like dreamy tea that they like, or just relax themselves, because the journey. Because I was getting a bit worried when the cacao crisis kind of hit, which we've not even touched on, that whole thing. The medicine isn't in the cacao, the medicine is in the journey. So just doing the journey alone, like what I just did for you now, but I make it a hell of a lot longer.
Of course.
It is where the magic is.
That would be so beautiful.
But when it comes to online, though, you don't get like a personal experience, because I get to draw off of the people that are there. I get to assist the people that are there if I see. And also, like, if we're doing cacao, you get to drink the cacao that I've made. And it's a pretty darn good cup of cacao, I will say myself. Because if you do make it at home, if you get it too hot, then you can boil it, and then it gets like really bitter and not so nice. Whereas the cacao that I serve is just cacao and water, and there is no need for anything else.
Cacao is just with water, the one you make?
Yeah. You don't need to add sugar. You don't need to add cinnamon.
No.
I
was thinking of milk more than anything. I was thinking of milk more than anything.
No.
Oh wow! Just with
it doesn't need it if you make it well and mindfully. I mean, it's not even that hard to make it quickly. If anybody does have cacao with them, if it's too hot for your finger, it's too hot for cacao. The water when you make it warm.
So I think. You would have, from the people sitting here, you would have about 3 to 4 people already attending one. Yeah, I can see from the comments. So I would definitely come along, and there are 2 other people interested. But if you wanted to organize something, then I would be, like helping you with advertising. I have been to a shamanic healer a few years ago, and I understand how very different of an experience it would be online. Of course. And this is what, like Rebecca is talking about, it would be a different experience. It would still be a journey, though. And I think people love journeys. But, like people that are in the US or in Denmark, for instance, they still would love to experience your guidance, and also because you have the hypnotherapy background studies, which obviously, and I felt that strongly tonight, that oh yes, I did. That it's a lovely technique to have. So I just wanted to say thank you, Rebecca. We will leave to Spirit to see, whether you would be able to do anything online as well as a one-off.
We ask you how to do that when we finish.
Oh, we'll bridge that, when we come to it. But I wanted to say next week we will have Phil Shaw from the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church to come along and talk to us about spirit, about astrology, and about readings. And you are again going to be you're going to be up for a treat. And I mean, you always are, because I love every single guest I've had so far. And they all bring their own beautiful healing personality, experience, and they lighten us with so many beautiful different ways to connect to our guides and help us find help and love and support on our journey. Rebecca, thank you so much, my lovely. It's been amazing. You got such a lovely energy. You've been very, very well welcomed and received from my following. And I don't know, I hope perhaps maybe next year you could come back and give us, a bit more of an enlightenment on this journey. Maybe we can organize something. Why not?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'm always happy.
Yeah, we could try. We can only try.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. God bless you. And thank you, everyone, for having come along. Thank you to everyone. And I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Stay safe, and shall see you next week with my next guest, Phil Shaw. You take care, and lots of love, and thank you, Rebecca, again.
Thank you, everyone. You've been so lovely. Bye. Bye.